Hi, I'm Di. Welcome to my channel, and today I'm doing another sewing project. Now this is a great project to make for gifts, make for yourself, make for your family, and what I'm doing, I'm making aprons. Now I've made aprons before as gifts and they're always very well received. Particularly if you know what someone's interests are, you can make it relating to those interests. So what I did for the whole family, I like to just have one gift and then do the whole lot for everyone. So that way there's no, oh, she got a better gift than me or anything like that. But what I did, I looked at what their interests were. So for my son-in-law who plays bass, I got some fabric with guitars on it. I couldn't get bass guitars, but I got guitars. My son, who's into Dungeons and Dragons, I got him some fabric with the special dice that they have. What else did I get? Oh, my daughter, who's a dietitian, I got, I think it was watermelons on hers. And so it goes on. I got different things for different people. And the contrasting fabric I used for the straps, the strap around the waist, and the pocket, and then I used a plain fabric to make the apron from. The reason I did that was because the pattern fabric, some of it, to source it, I had to order it online and it wasn't cheap. So used the cheaper fabric for the body of it and then highlighted it with the specialty fabric. But you could do anything with these aprons. You can use a nice thick cotton drill. That's always a good fabric to use. Or you can pick fabric up on special. Just need to make sure that if it's for an apron and it's going to be used for cooking, particularly if it's used when someone's cooking outside on the barbecue, on the barbie, that if there are fat splashes or if they might use it because they do painting and those sort of things like artistic painting and they might get the paint on them, you don't want fabric which is going to absorb it and perhaps go through onto the clothes. So what I tend to use, I pick up upholstery fabric on special, so canvases, outdoor fabric, things where stuff isn't going to go through and the clothes are protected. So now I've already cut some patterns, and these patterns I cut because I had an apron already, and I just laid the apron down and traced around it. So here I've just put some Violin, that is like a stabilizer for sewing. I used to use this for embroidery and it's tearaway backing. I use this to cut my pattern pieces off because I use my pattern pieces over and over. I am actually starting a business selling my handmade goods, so I'll be using them even more. And by using the Violin for my patterns, it means that I can use them over and over again. Now I actually have some patterns that I've been using for 30 years. So, yeah, and I use them often. So here I am just laying down the t-shirt, and you can see that I've folded that because I am going to cut it on the edge, and that will be folded over when I cut the apron out. So I'm just going to draw around it. I'm not just going to straight cut around it. So I'm just grabbing a texture here and I'm just going to draw where that goes. And that's the sleeve, so I'm going to want it a little bit over that. This is the neckline up here. Sorry, I'm just marking in where the neckline is up there and the shoulder. So I've just marked a few marks there. Now, so I know what I'm doing, I'm just going to write instructions on my pattern. So I've written there, place on fold, so I know to put that on the fold of the fabric. This is the width that I want it to come down. Now this was where the sleeve came in. I wanted a little bit more generous than the sleeve. So I'm just going to go a little bit below that, put a line. Now, I'm going to be putting straps on it, so I don't want to go as far as the sleeve seam went. I want to go below that because we want an apron to sit down around here. So that the sleeve there, I'm just gauging how far that is, because we've got straps that go around the neck. So here we go. We'll put this down and continue. I will put this back and I will mark. So it was good that I put those marks there for where the shoulder is so I can line it back up again. I want to mark where the neck edge is. So my neck edge is there. I want it below the neck edge, so I'm going to go down to here. Now, what we need to do is to scoop that and put a neck edge. I'm just going to get a ruler, which I didn't bring with me. Now, you don't need to use a violin like I have. You can use some tracing paper. You can use some brown craft paper. You can use newspaper. You can use whatever you like. Some butcher's paper if you've got big pieces of that. Even keep old wrapping paper because they come in really big pieces. You can use that. So, I'm just going to straighten this edge off. So that goes right around to the side of the body, which is where I want it. This is just below the underarm. This is across the top, sorry. This is across the top. Now, we aren't talking about little people, 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds, even 2-year-olds. This would be a little bit big on a 2-year-old, but gee, they grow so quick. You can just adjust it and make it fit a 2-year-old so that they'll get quite a few years out of this. And then we just need to put a scoop for the arms going around. Now, this t-shirt is quite long on my grandson. So again, matching it up with all those marks, the shoulder seam marks. Now, this is long, so having it that length, maybe a bit longer, will be plenty of coverage for a child's apron. Now, there we have our apron for our child, all marked out. I need some other pieces. The other pieces that we need a little neck strap. Now, I'm taking this off my adult pattern, but the reason I'm doing that is because we're putting a buckle on it, and it needs to be a certain size so I can sew it with the buckle on it, get it into the machine far enough away from the needle. You'll see what I mean as I sew it up. And I've got waist straps and I've got neck straps. This is from the child's apron, the neck strap. I'll get the waist strap from the child's apron. This is the larger size I'm talking about, the size 10 child's. Okay, that's the child's one there. Now I'm just going to make these just a little bit shorter. So I'll just mark this out. Now, how much shorter do I want it? just a little bit longer because we want to be able to tie it in a bow. So I have made, I'll give you the dimensions, I'll put them all on the screen. But while I've got my ruler, I will measure it and you'll be able to see the measurements. So this one is 14. That's 15 inches by 2 3¼ inches. This one is 3¼ inches by 10¼ inches. Now I'll just write now I would size this from size 2 to 6. I took it from a size 4 t-shirt, so it'll be a little bit smaller on a 6. It will be a bit bigger on a 2-year-old, but it's going to give them many years wearing this. And I'm just going to put my dimensions here. Now remember, this is half, so it's 7 inches by 11 inches. Our neck, I don't know if you can see up there, our neck is 2½ inches. Sorry, let me double check that. I'd say 2 3/4 inches. And the distance from there to the top is, is 5 inches. So from here down to this mark here is 5 inches. So then you just do your scoop, and this one is, well, you can see that's 2 3/4 inches. This is 5 inches in, and then just scoop it around. Now, will we put a pocket on the child's apron? That's up to you. I don't think that we need one. Children really don't need a pocket on their apron, but if you want it to make it look nice, you can put a small pocket in the apron. And I'm just using my other pieces just to sort of gauge what size pocket would I like in this apron. If I were to put a pocket in this apron, I would probably have it, that's quite big actually because it's half of it. So let's have a look. So we'll make that 4 inches by 5. But remember, this is placed on the fold, so that's 2½ inches, and that's 4 inches. So I need to cut another piece out for the pocket. So I need it to be, this is the neck strap, which books better start labeling things. This is the waist strap. Now I'll need 2 waist straps, and I'll need 1 neck strap, and I'll also need a neck strap, another part of the neck strap, and I'll do that to there. Let's see if I got enough there. 3 inches. I wanted 3 1/4. I'll just do it here. 3 1/4. So that's 3 1/4 inches. Oops, I'm cutting that part out of it, so it needs to be longer. So it needs to be 14 inches. So let's just take that across, 14 inches. This is neck strap, and I need to cut one. And I need a 5 inches. Inches by 4. This is pocket, and I need to cut 2. You'll see why I'm cutting 2. We're only putting 1 pocket on. You'll see later. So that was 5 inches by 4 inches for my pocket. Just going back to my neck strap, I didn't put the measurements on there, so that was 14 inches by 3 1/4. Right, now I'll label child's apron size 2 to 6. Child's apron. Okay, so I've cut out all my pattern pieces. Now this is the main part of the apron, and you can see that I have cut that out. I'll just take that off. I've cut that out in the patterned fabric. Now, one thing you do need to watch, if you've got a patterned fabric and it runs in one direction like this, these are flowering gums. So these are the flowers. So that needs to be pointing up. So you just need to take into consideration which way it goes. The next piece I have here is the pocket piece. As I said, we don't generally put a pocket on a child's apron, but I just thought I'd do it to show you the process of how it's done. We've got one neck strap. So the pocket is 2, it's double the fabric. This one is on the fold. Then we've got waist straps. We need 2 because we're going to be tying them behind the back, behind the waist. And we've got one neck strap. So I've got 2 neck straps, but you'll see how that all works now. Okay, we're now at my ironing board and I'm just going to iron these. Now this is a nice steam iron. So this will put some creases in here perfectly. So we're just folding our straps in half. It's the first thing we're doing, and then ironing it down. Then we're going to open that up. Now I'm just checking, is there a right side and a wrong side on this? They both look the same. Okay. And then we just bring each side into the center. Now I'm going to be using a little buckle on this, and you'll see later when I get to that stage. You do not have to use a buckle. You can use 2 of the long neck straps and omit the short one, and that way you can tie them behind the neck. Now I just have to make sure that that's lined up. Yep, that's good. And I'm going to do that on all my pieces here, because these are all going to be straps. So we'll just speed it up a bit here so that you don't have to watch the long process of me doing all this ironing. Okay, one thing I did forget, I do want to put a seam, or tuck that under at the end. So I'm just going to open those out and fix that up a little bit. So I'm just folding that over a bit, and then bring it back in place, and ironing it again. Now, if you don't want to use, go to this trouble and make the straps, you can actually buy some webbing. And that way, you just cut it off, fold it over, and sew it on. And there's none of this to do. So, you know, it's up to you. There are other ways of doing this. But I like it because this actually gives a contrast to the fabric. And it's a way to use up scraps. So you have less wastage from cutting your pattern out. Okay, I'm going to take these to the machine and come along with me. Okay, so here I've got my straps, and what I'm going to do is to sew them. Now, you can use matching thread, or you can use contrasting thread on this. Whatever you decide to do. I did think about, because I had it threaded with black, and I thought, oh yeah, black would look nice on this, but I've decided to change it, and I've got the matching thread. So I'm just going to start with my needle down, a few stitches across, a few stitches back to secure it, and I'm just right on the edge here. So then I'll turn it, and I'm just sewing the edge. And just securing the thread again at the end. Needle up, and then just trim the threads away. Just trimming the threads. Now I'm going to do that on all of my all of my pieces that I have here. Some people like to take this and go back up the other edge. I don't bother. I don't think it needs it, and it's less sewing. So I really don't think it needs it. I'll just do another piece so you can see. So we just needle down, just a few stitches forward, then some back and forward again, just to lock in those stitches. And again, just down the edge. Okay, I'll finish the other ones and then we'll be back. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do, I've got my main piece, and I'm going to use the overlocker to overlock all the way around that. So just have to get my foot pedal. Now we're going to take it back to the ironing board. Okay, I'm back at the ironing board, and now what I'm going to do is to iron down just a small seam allowance. So I'm just going to do that all the way around. I'll actually do the other one first so that it looks... So we're just ironing around about 1/4 of an inch or 1/8 of an inch in this area here where it needs to go around the curve. Okay, there we go. Now we're back to the ironing, we're back to the sewing machine. So we're back at the machine, and we're just going to start sewing these seams down. And again, I'll put the needle down because I'm going to be turning corners. So again, just secure your stitch. I'm just clipping back the threads. Sorry, I'm out of view. I'll just pop that down a little so you can see I'm just clipping the threads. I thought that was a thread. It was part of the design because it's the same colour as my thread. Okay, there we have it. Now, the next thing is that we need to attach our straps. Now, I use these little plastic things for my straps, which means that they're adjustable. And I just bought these off eBay. They're not very dear, but what tends to happen in my place is that people, you know, the kids and that, they come around and they'll just grab an apron. So it might be one of my aprons, it might be for someone else. Straps always need adjusting, and even the kids, different size kids will use the kids' aprons. So I'm just threading this through either side there, just so that it's in half. And I've just got the small neck strap piece, and I just need to sew that there. That's where I sew it, just on the inside. And I do sew it backwards and forwards a few times because I want to make sure that that's secure. Now, there's a lot of fabric that's got to go through, because you could know that I tuck those ends under. So, and that's 4 thicknesses of fabric already. So it's about 8 thicknesses, 16, 17, 18, quite thick. So I might just drop that down a little bit and not be sewing on the edge. I might drop it down a little bit and sew just above where the bulk of that fabric is. And I want to sew it from this side because I want to sew over the seam that I just put in. I want the stitching to be over the top of that. So I'm just making sure firstly that it's lined up, that I've got my plastic bit out the way, that I've got it right up to the corner. Might just move it up a little bit. And here we have it. I need to raise my foot a little bit more. Right. Just going very slowly. A few stitches forward, a few stitches back. Right over that original sewing line that I've got there. And that's it. Now I did go a little bit off the line. I hit the fabric and it just threw things off a little bit there. I'll just show you that more closely when I've clipped the threads away. Okay, clip it a little bit better than that. Some loose threads down there too. Okay, so you can see that I have mostly gone over that original sewing line, but it just dropped down there. I'm not going to worry too much about that. I'm not happy about it, but I'm not unpicking it and doing it again. It's just what's happened because of the bulk of the fabric. It just threw it out from where it was sitting under the foot. So that's our first one. Now I've got 3 straps left here. Just be careful when you get them, because there are 2 the same size and 1 just a little bit shorter. So the 2 the same size are the waist straps, and the other one is my other neck strap. So again, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to secure it by sewing, oops. Now see what I did there? That's under the arm. I need the neck piece, so I need to go up here. I need to drop the bulk of that away and follow that original sewing line there. So needle down. I'm not quite at the right spot. Right, there we go, needle down again. Right, I'm right on it. So just a few stitches forward, a few back to secure our thread. Sew over that original seam and secure the thread, and here we go. Just clip the threads away, and you can see that that's perfect. Right on top of the original sewing line, and at the back, the bulk of that is below the sewing line. I think on the other side I got some of that, that's why it threw it out. Now we just thread this through. And there we have our adjustable neck strap. There we go. Now the next thing I'll do is to put the waist straps on. So I'll just do the same thing, sew along the original sewing line, and I'll put them down at the end of the scooped out bit. So we'll sew them there. Now, I've been so I'm not normally I'll put the down, but I'll do it again. I'm right on top. That's the this is basically one goes against everything. And yeah, okay. Let's get this one up. There we go. Okay, that's all again. Finish the threads. And I'll try to do something like that same. Now next thing I do, but I just like to show you what it's like when I'm doing the nice. So I'll put it on. Okay, so what I did here, I just folded and ironed some marks in. So I just below the waist straps, I've made a mark across, and then I took the centre and I ironed a little crease in there so that I could get the placement right. Now again, this is something that kids might put toys in. It might have a lot of strain on the corners. So I'm just going to make sure that I give it some thorough stitching. So as well as securing it, I'm just going a little bit more than I normally would to secure, because I want to, oops, my pin is catching. I want to make sure that any strain that's put on the pocket, that's not going to, the stitching won't come undone. That's why we have our needle down, so we can just turn it and then just keep going. Again at the top, just going backwards and forwards to make sure that there's not strain put on that pocket that might tear the stitching. Okay, again, clipping threads. I like to clip my threads as I go. Some people leave it all to the end, but for me, I'll miss some. for sure. So if I do it as I go, that way I know that I've got them all. Okay, I am finished. I just want to take that to the iron and then we can have a look at it. Come with me. Okay, I'm back at the ironing board and just want to iron that down now. Neaten it all up. Get those creases out that I ironed in for the pocket placement. Iron all my seams. And there you have it. Okay, so there you have it. A lovely little apron for a 2 to perhaps even a 6-year-old. I've said it's 2 to 6. It is actually size 4. Be a little bit big on the 2-year-old, a little bit smaller on the 6-year-old. I'd say maybe even might just be 5-year-old. I'm really not happy with the neck strap. I think that next time I'm just going to cut 3 straps for the waist and I'll use one of those for the neck strap. I may even end up taking this off. I'm going to try it on my granddaughter tomorrow and that could come off and I might even put a longer strap on it. But anyway, we'll see. And while I did that, I cut out the other 2 sizes that I've got, the very small adults or the child size 10 to 12, and I also cut out the adult one. So I'm going to do those now and I'll come back and show you when I finish those. It's exactly the same process. Okay, so it's a lot later in the day. You can see it's nighttime if you look out my window. I've actually been out. I finished all my sewing, but then I shot straight out and I'm back. I just wanted to finish this video off by showing you all the things that I've made today. So here we have it. Now that's a size 4, but it will fit a little bit big on a 2-year-old and probably a little bit on the small side for a 6-year-old, but I do call it 2 till 6. Maybe just make it a little bit longer, but definitely this strap needs to be a bit bigger, I reckon. I'll try it on my granddaughter tomorrow and then I'll find out. So there's that apron. This is the next size up. Now this is about a size for a child, about a size, oh, I haven't threaded this through. It's a size 10 to 12 or a very small adult it will fit. So I'm just threading this through. This fabric is a little bit thicker, so it's a little bit difficult to thread that through there. There we go. That's the neck strap threaded through. So you can see I've done it the alternate colorways. I've done the patterns on the straps and the pocket and the plain on the body of the apron. This will fit a small adult. As I said, it fits my daughter-in-law. She would be about a size 6 or 8. So there you have it with that one. And then I've made my one. And so just have a look, I'll step back. So there's my one. And it folds around. It's very generous in the coverage. So you can see that it comes right around the hips and just does up at the back. And then I've got the adjustment on the neck. So I've worn it a little bit higher. I can wear it higher or a little bit lower. Now I've got the pocket here, just one pocket that goes across. I find growing veggies in the garden, it's great. It protects my clothes and I often if I haven't got enough room in whatever container I've taken down to pick stuff, I'll stick stuff in the pocket as well. So yeah, I find having a pocket very handy. You might want to make it a little bit shorter. I like it longer. Yeah, because it just covers any sort of splatter. So there you have it. There's 3 aprons, all done. And I will put up some details on the sizing so that you can make your own pattern with those. As I said, the first one, I just traced off a apron that I had. But if you don't have an apron, I will provide the measurements for you. And yeah, the others, I'll draw it all up and you'll see. So thanks for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more of my videos, hit the subscribe button and ding, ding, ding on the notification bell. That way you'll always know when a new video comes out. So thank you. I must say thanks to everybody who has subscribed so far. I started this little channel off, here I go. I'm going to go off on a little tangent. I'll make it quick. I started this so that I could do all our family favourite recipes. So instead of my kids sending me messages at 11 o'clock at night saying, oh, can you give me the recipe for this? Or how do you cook that? Or whatever. I did all through our family favourites cookbook. And that's why I started it. But I thought, well, other people might like these videos. So that's where it's grown from. Never thinking that I would have 452 subscribers, which is what I now have. But now that I've got that far, I'm thinking, well, if I could just get to 1,000, I can monetize it. And that way I can advertise when I start my business, my online business. So I will be selling handmade goods, things that you see me make. But anyway, that's for down the track. If you haven't subscribed, please do. It will help me a lot, but you'll also know when new videos are available. Thanks once again. Hope to see you on the next one. Bye for now.